How's it going, everyone? This is my first LinkedIn Live video. I've been streaming on YouTube and Facebook, and actually, this is being streamed to all three platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can find me at Manamica, Manamica. I'm very excited to do this today because this week has been a packed week when it comes to social media news. So I wanted to bring you news from Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And there was so much going on this week that I'm going to refer to my notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because I want to make sure that I give you the right information. It's probably going to take a little bit for people to join in, so I will repeat some of this information as we go. But I'll get started. Like, one of the things I love to do is to not waste people's time and deliver the information as clearly and briefly as possible. So I will start with news from Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I wouldn't have said the same thing a year ago. This is my renewed love for Pinterest because they've made such amazing e-commerce changes in the past year. In fact, they grew by 30%. And I know we don't talk about it as much as we talk about Instagram and TikTok these days, but we really need to pay attention to these small but significant moves that social networks make. So Pinterest's big move is in e-commerce. They announced some changes this week. And for me, this, if you're like me and you're investing through Public or Robinhood, or you spend this pandemic just throwing a little bit of money here and there on stock, you may know that Motley's Fool has had Pinterest on their must-buy list for a few months now. And the stock has been climbing recently. And it has to do with their success in e-commerce and some of these new features that we're seeing. And this week, they announced that they're expanding those shopping features to other countries around the world. They just launched a new feature for shopping lists where anybody can save a product that they see and go back to it later. But the big change is how they revamped the storefronts for merchants, where you can create now tabs by categories, and then there's the dynamically displayed recommendations. And that's an important move for merchants there. And I have to say, and I'm saying it live, so I can't edit this out, that I feel like Pinterest is really setting itself up for a lot more success going forward. I think their shopping features are better than Instagram's at this point. And I'll get to those changes because Instagram has made e-commerce changes as well and announced a few of them this week. So I'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about LinkedIn next. And by the way, if you have any comments or questions, drop them in the comments section below, and I will get to them. And also, I will put in the comments later a link to some of the Instagram news so that you can read all of the details. So come back to this video afterwards. I wish I could do it in real time, but I want to focus on you right now. So LinkedIn news. This is not so much about LinkedIn's new features as it is about what I see them as betting into what we're going to see when people go back to the office. And LinkedIn and its parent company, Microsoft, are betting on online events still running strong. And they invested recently it's rumored, a little under $50 million in a company called Hopin, Hopin, which is a virtual conference technology company. They raised over $500 million in their latest round in March, and the company is valued at over $5 billion. So interesting bet there from LinkedIn. We're going to, I think that LinkedIn is making a lot of moves to keep people on the platform and a lot of investment in LinkedIn in video streaming. So that's an interesting move there. Let's dive into Instagram because Instagram released so much information this week that it's been kind of hard to digest. So some of it I will read to you and quote it directly. And as I said, my last LinkedIn and my last Instagram posts are about the announcement about Instagram's new algorithm. So check those out. As I said, you can find me at Manamica, and you can see that on the screen here below. So Instagram's big changes are big change announcement for Instagram creators is that they can now will have the chance to use an affiliate tool. So basically, if you share somebody else's content, somebody else's e-commerce product on Instagram, you get a cut. So it's going to make it easier for those who like to try to make some revenue off of Instagram to do so. And also, again, another move to keep people on the platform. And pretty much every piece of news that I'm going to share today has to do with that, increasing time on platform. For creators that already have their shops or product lines, they can now link their shop to their personal Instagram account. So those shops were only available for business accounts. So now every user could potentially, or now as the features roll out, every user could potentially create their own shop and sell things through that. However, and I'm going to read this out because there's only 4 merchant partners available: Bravo/UMG, Fanjoy, Represent, and Spring. And it's expected that they will roll out this feature to all US users by the end of the year. And I'm going to read a lot of this because it's interesting, but also a little bit confusing. They're launching ways for creators to earn extra money for badges when they hit certain milestones of live videos and so on. So I'm going to quote from Instagram's announcement. Starting this week, creators on Instagram are eligible to earn an extra payout when they meet certain milestones while using badges in live, such as going live with another account. I'm unclear on what that means, with another account. So I'm thinking they're referring to partnerships, but it's unclear. Today, so this was a couple of days ago, Facebook is launching Stars Challenges. Creators in the program can earn payouts from Facebook in the form of free stars if they meet certain milestones, such as broadcasting a certain number of hours or earning a set number of stars within a designated time period. Whew! I should have taken a breath there in the middle of that sentence. So there's a lot packed in there. It's a video move. We're talking about live. We're talking about video. It seems like every platform is moving in that direction. Obviously, LinkedIn is doing that, and Instagram, and now Facebook is having a similar announcement. Additionally, this week, Instagram clarified what their algorithm is all about. And that's the post that I referred to. You can find it on my LinkedIn profile. You can find it on my Instagram profile as my last post. I've outlined there all the takeaways from this announcement. But one of the very interesting things that I got out of it is that we expect content to be rewarded and rise to the top based on how many likes and shares and comments it gets, so engagement measurements. But Instagram announced how Reels rise to the top. And it's very interesting that the soundtrack of the Reel, the music, plays a part in how well that Reel is going to be ranked. And what Instagram is saying is that it's trying to reward content that makes other people create content. So based on the soundtrack, if that soundtrack is a type that encourages the next person to create their own content, their own similar content, that Reel is going to get rewarded and shown more at the top of people's feeds. So far, we've had the traditional, measurements that likes, comments, and all of that were used to rank content. Now there's some that we haven't considered before. So soundtrack is important. Again, video seems to be ruling the internets. So you should consider getting into it. And then the last one I want to talk about is Twitter, because I shouldn't have left it for last because everybody's expecting Twitter to go away, but it is not. So the announcement that you may have seen, because it did get discussed a lot, is that Twitter is launching Twitter Blue, which is a subscription service, but they're testing it out and only launching it for right now in Canada and Australia. And it costs about $3.5 Canadian dollars a month. And it gives it gives a few features. I think it's too few features for the cost, but I want to hear from you. So comment below if you think this is worth paying $3.50, 3 Canadian dollars. So one of the features is that you can undo your tweet within the first 30 seconds of putting it out. Then you can create collections and consolidate long tweets into consolidated text for easier reading. And then you can change the color of the badge of the app on your phone. I'm laughing at that one because I'm not going to pay $3.50 just to change the color of the badge on my phone. So we'll see if this feature survives the testing that's going to happen in Canada and Australia. But I want a little bit more if I'm going to subscribe. And then Twitter also is launching a feature called Super Follow. And Super Follow, I'm reading, will give creators ways to monetize their content with options to charge monthly fees for different features, such as, exclusive newsletter or exclusive content or a discount. This is very, very similar to Patreon, for those of you who are familiar with it. There you can also create it's a subscription model, almost like a donation model if you appreciate somebody's content. So this is the big news of the week. I want to hear what you think, and especially if you're going to pay that $3.5 a month, and any other questions you may have. If I were to summarize this, it really looks like all of these changes are designed, one, to get more e-commerce businesses to retail through the social networks on Pinterest and Instagram. Give more people the opportunity to get involved in that commerce network by making an affiliate fee for sharing products that are being sold on Instagram, and keeping people on the platform as long as possible. Instagram is trying to really make a push for viral content, for meme content, by rewarding content that basically is being replicated and reshared by others. So let me know what you think. I'm going to try to do a session every week to bring you news. I don't think every week is as packed with news as this one was, but I'm sure there's always going to be something interesting. If there's something that you really want to hear about, let me know. Please drop your ideas in the comments. And also, I have a video series called Mana Minutes, where I answer a question in under 2 minutes, which sometimes is a challenge. So sometimes the videos are more like 3, 4, 5 minutes, but I try to answer the questions as fast as possible. So if you have any questions, please send them to me. You can find me at Manamika pretty much anywhere, or drop your questions in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really excited to do more of these, and I will see you back here next time.